Welcome to yet another session here at Learn With Us, Selling Print Online. Jacques, you're from the same region as at least Martin, where he came from, right?
Yeah.
Now he has abandoned you and moved to some country far, far away.
So where are you now, Martijn?
I'm currently in in our office in Ukraine. That's our back office over there. But normally I stay in Brabant, so very near yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have not abandoned the Netherlands completely.
No. As long as we source enough print to our partners over there, I'm still granted.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Martin and Mogens, who is sitting next to you, a very warm welcome to our Learn With Us session here. I can share a little secret with our audience, and that is, when you try to sell print online, often there is a beautiful storefront that is trying to capturing customers' money and exchange it for print, right? And then Martin said to me, yeah, but we don't have a storefront and we don't sell print that way. So how will you manage to present the cloud printer if it's just bits and bytes, Martin?
We do nothing else, Martin. That's what we, maybe a short intro for the ones we have no clue what we are doing.
It's just like INKISH then. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I mean, we provide a global print API for printers, print service providers and brands, the print buyers. And we connect them to each other via our cloud platform. And without any storefront, without any e-commerce, shopping cart or whatever, that is another topic that we will explain. For that we have built our connected app store. But we are just purely the print API. That all sounds a bit technical, but it's definitely not. You know that if you share your BBC News on Facebook, for example, you use APIs for that. When you are redirected to PayPal, when you buy your airplane ticket, you use an API for that. And this journey started a few years ago. 3.5 years ago, we went live. Today, we operate, I think, the largest print network in the world. Around 225 print partners are fulfilling our print jobs every day from thousands of brands, also from all around the world. And that's what we do. We get an order, we route it to the nearest print partner. We fill their presses. They have just one connection for multiple customers, and they ship it. And that's all we do.
So the idea that you had like before 3.5 years ago, that has turned out to be a very good idea.
So far, yes. So far.
But, yeah. And for people who may not understand what an API is short for Application Programmer Interface, and that is essentially a way where you set up a sort of communication protocol so people can communicate to your system, right?
That's completely correct. And Cloud Printer was founded by me and Mogens, our Danish friend. And today we do a bit of magic because we had some issues with switching microphones. So I fade for the audience a bit to the left, and then Mogens comes in.
Wow. That's top technology.
That is amazing. So you're not Martin Eier, right? Sorry, I couldn't help it. I've been sitting here for so many hours already without lunch, so it's like you're teasing the tiger, So, Mogens, so are you the technical person at Cloud Printer, or how have you divided the roles between you guys?
Yeah, I'm the CTO, and I'm doing all the high level designing of everything that we have. We have done a number of expansions in different teams and so on, but I started the technical part, wrote the first versions, and I'm still day-to-day running the dev teams here. We have teams here in Lviv also where we are now. And as Martijn said before about the system, it's correct that it's an API, and this is where we started. And it's an API from the client side, so client applications can, as you say, programming integrate with the system. And on the print partner side, we have the same kind of concept. So we are sitting in between and making a unified way of delivering orders to the print partners and posting orders for the clients.
Could that be, for those who might know about, could be compared to something like Zapier, that is like connecting APIs on different level, but where you do it on a print industry focused level?
You can say that it's a lower level that we are operating on, where it's more for complete integrations that are done. Let's say a company have an e-commerce system, and they programmably code up against our API, so they again and again can automatically post in the orders when they're paid. Or it could be a larger corporation that is, every time a new employee is hired, they push in an order for business cards for that employee. So it's taking away the manual work of that integration, and this is the whole essence of it. But of course, that, as Martijn said, this is very complicated for some people, and it's the most natural for other people. The way that the internet is working today, all developers, they know about APIs. And of course, we have designed the client-side API to be very easy to work with and very similar to other APIs. So it's easy to understand and easy to engage with. And
So one thing is that something is easy from your customer's perspective. I was just wondering, is it also easy from a developer's perspective? I mean, you are the one with the headaches that needs to keep developing services. So is that like a complex to make the infrastructure of this work?
It is extremely complex. It started out as a very small idea about that we are making an API and a protocol up against the print partners, but it's as more and more requirements are there, it's getting more complex. Part of what we have taken out of the equation, and this is what is speeding the process up, is that we are doing all the price calculation, both on products and shipping. And this means that we can calculate a quote of any order in 50 milliseconds internally, and then we have some communication. This means that for any number of print partners we have in a region, we figure out where it's going, what is the cost, how many packages, what is the weight of them, what is the volume of them. We figure that all out in those 50 milliseconds, and we take a decision. Just like if you search for something on Google, they will figure out very fast what is the top result, and it's kind of same concept here.
Mm-hmm. And what about the pricing? You say that you calculate the prices. Is that based on, let's say, of course, a set of parameters, and these parameters, are they filled out by the print partner you have, or is it a unified system for all that participate as a PSP?
The PSPs are giving the pricing because the local pricing is very different. Also, the shipping options are very different. We are working with more than 100 different shipping providers around the world. So the delivery and everything is very different. So we have pricing for each of them. And again, this is taking away the 1 day of quoting up against a print partner that you would do normally, and you can give it or get the results here within a second to any location in the world. And that means that you can build it into the flow of a checkout flow in an e-commerce store, as an example. Mm-hmm. You can see what shipping options you have directly, what it will cost, and what the product will cost.
Great.
Right, maybe it's ahead of the questions or ahead of your demonstration. But the thing that first popped up in my mind was how or by what criteria do you select your print partners? Because that's the basis of your business, isn't it?
Yeah, it's clear that print partners need to have a full automation for this to happen with a high volume. So if we start pushing hundreds of orders to a manual workflow, that doesn't really work. Also, the products have to be of a certain quality. So we get samples made, and we do assess quality, etc. We do rate printers based on it. And when we talk about the routing, as we call it, the selection of the print partner, it's not all about the location. It's also the quality. It's also if things are just working. Do you have a lot of reorders on it, or don't we, etc. So all of this comes into play, and And it's clear that a print partner that have, let's say they have an automated workflow, they could use something like InFocus where we can deliver the orders to the switch server, and then they pick it up. They send back the right signals to us in the right time. This is also something we measure. And this means that we can keep track of the process. And only by keeping track of the process, we know if things are going right or if they are starting to slide a little. And this is part of the very important integration with the print partners. So we go through an integration with them. We see the products, we do the testing of products, we have a whole suite for testing, so they can do testing themselves while they're integrating. And then we check that everything is good. So we have a whole onboarding process for this part.
Right. Yeah, onboarding.
I was thinking that if I mean, this week is about web to print and selling print online, and obviously it seems that you are, of course, you're selling print online, but it's a kind of the backbone of routing jobs from one place to another. Let's say that I'm a printing company in Denmark, for example, and I want to make a global print business. Wow, we got the sliding effect again. Yeah,
no,
it's
magic.
Yeah. No, let's say that I have this business, and let's say I'm a printing company, and I want to sell my services to a global brand that needs to get that print delivered in many different countries. Is that where I could take? I could then start collaborating with Cloud Printer, so you could basically say that, okay, we can make sure that you have suppliers in Latin America, in North America, in Australia, wherever, and basically make sure that the jobs can be routed to any printer near the destination. Or is that how it works?
That's exactly how it works. Yeah, and probably as being an independent print provider in Denmark, you could never win a Fortune 500 company to print for on a global scale. So you benefit from our platform, and the Fortune 500 company will not reach out to 164 printers in 164 countries. Because even if they manage to find those printers, then they all have different protocols and different ways to receive print orders and update the status back to your platform. And that's exactly where we come in.
Perfect. I'm very intrigued with this system, and I think it's wonderful that you want to participate in our Learn with us here today. So, will you show us something, or what is the plan now?
Sure. What we like to do is, you forbid us to use a PowerPoint.
Yeah, damn it.
So
you're using Keynote. Or printed papers.
Now, what we did, we just had 3 slides with no 20 phrases and 10 bullets, but just to illustrate how our platform works. So we explain it a bit in a conceptual way. And after that, we like to see or like to show which kind of tools we have built on top of the platform. So I should be able to share my screen over here.
Yeah, and Jacques and I, we will just turn off camera and sound and listen and get back to you in a moment.
Okay. So my screen is visible for everyone.
No, you have to go to screen share on top of the screen.
Yeah, there we are.
And it works now.
Okay. So what I would like to show is that we are a multi-site platform. We are not the platform.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, sure. You should.
Martin, how is your counting? I mean, you said 3 slides, didn't you?
Yeah, but they are. I was counting them in landscape, not in portrait.
Ah, okay, sorry.
So as you, but I will skip some of them, so don't make worry. To come back, we are the multi-site platform, which means we basically have 2 different kinds of customers. We have the print buyer and the print partner, and we connect them via our cloud, like we just discussed. And yeah, it's quite simple. The print buyer submits an order, we route it, and based on all the parameters set by the print partners. And that's the only job we do every day. And that job that we do every day, we do currently and then it doesn't want to show. 1 second. Yeah, there we are. We do currently with print partners in almost every continent. Well, every continent, 224 to be exactly today. And we will add probably 250 before the end of this year. And we are a tech platform. It sounds a bit strange when you want to reach out to print buyers and brands, etc. But automation is key for our platform. So our customers set up a connection with us, and from that moment, they can submit automated orders. That means we have a kind of approach that we say API first, application seconds. And maybe Mogens can jump in there a bit to explain.
Yeah, sure. What we have done is building the API as the order base of the order, and this is what we have as a core of our service. The receiving orders, processing orders, and communicating the orders in a unified way to the print partners. The second level of this is, of course, how do we make it easier for the print partners? And in that case, we did integrations with workflow softwares like InfoSwitch. So again, there we are taking off the complexity of doing the integration. The integration we have done up against the Switch server, so now the print partner can focus on the important thing for them, and that is their workflow internally. And we have a number of integrations in this way. The same way on the client side, we figured out that at the moment we had our core API, we could go to the next step and we could integrate with more applications. So we added something we called Cloud Apps API. So it's an API that is designed for connecting apps. And this means that it's, as our core API is a B2B platform, this is a really good solution for a B2B2C. So you could have, let's say, a virtual print portal or an e-commerce store where they sign in with their credentials up against this the application, and they can run their business by selling to the end consumer. These type of applications, they require something a little more. They require an easy way of integrating, and they require that we have a sale between the e-commerce platform and us, and that they can go out and show pricing, etc., in their local currency and so on. So for making this work, we have added things like multi-currency on the front end. So we can have clients requesting in the US dollars and pricing coming from a printer in Poland in a different currency, and your internal currency can be something third. So that whole concept of handling multi-currencies, this is taken care of in the platform. The communication of orders in these connected apps, we take care of from that app. So let's say it could be from a Shopify, just to take a good example that most people maybe are familiar with. In these cases, we have taken care of everything from giving a way of mapping your product locally in your Shopify store with a cloud printer product. We have taken the part about quoting it first, so you know what you have to pay for the product before placing the order, and you can check if you have the revenue on it that you want, etc. And we get or provide a list of the print partners and the pricing that it can go with. So you can see if it's going with a DHL or if it's a UPS next day or whatever it is. All of this is provided by us and in the connected apps that we are providing. And this is giving that you can, again, as a shop owner, you can concentrate on the things that you're good at, and the e-commerce part, the selling your product, and we have taken away the complexity of the integration, the product mapping, posting files, etc., and that handling. So Martijn.
Yeah, so that is a bit how the tech side of our platform. And I'm not a developer, so for me it sounded all like abracadabra in the beginning. And the same it does for a lot of potential print buyers or print buyers in the world. And therefore we have built over the years a large number of integrations with almost any e-commerce or CRM platform in the world. So for an example, if you run your web-to-print store on Shopify, on Wix, Magento, Drupal, WooCommerce, and many more, you don't need to develop or code an integration with our print API. You just install or activate the cloud printer feature in those e-commerce platforms, and you directly can automatically submit your print orders to our platform on the moment that you have a transaction, or when you sold something to your end customer. And that's the same we do on the production side with Focus Switch, which Mogens just mentioned. We do it with CRM platforms like Salesforce and HubSpot. And for all the other platforms for which we don't have a plug-in or support at the moment, there is Zapier available. You can make it as crazy as you want. When you submit an order and it starts to print, it can make your Spotify playing We Will Rock You. You can connect all the apps together where you want. So how does it prove to work so far? I think we have been successful in getting around 7,000 clients on the platform, and it's just the beginning. It's the last slide, so I will skip. I mean, this is about the future, but that are dreams. We are just working hard on realize them. But for sure, we should accelerate in the end of the year to go to come to with an approach that we can even reach 1,000 print partners on a certain moment. How do I stop this? So I hope that a bit. I hope this was helping a bit of understanding the concept of Cloud Printer. I like to show you some concrete things that we do with those apps as an example. You all can see my shared browser now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So like I just said in the slides, that we have built apps or integrations with apps. The list is quite long in the meantime. We just released, for example, one with Amazon, and it's already here. So imagine that you are a publisher and you sell your titles on Amazon Marketplace. On the moment someone buys that book, let's say from Japan, directly Amazon will notify the Cloud Printer platform, reproduce or reroute that order, to our Japanese print partner, and it will be delivered in 1, 2, 3 days to the Japanese end customer, depending if it's a hardcover or a softcover product, etc. And that's just one example about applications that we have built on top of our API. I think one of the newest one is print directly from Google Drive and Dropbox. So you can select any file and submit it for printing wherever it's needed in the world. Then we of course come to a point that you say, okay, can we see how it works? Well, there is not much to see about an API. It's a bit of code, it's JSON, it's XML, but we might be able to give you a bit of an idea by showing a customer's dashboard. And when you are a customer, you can select one of those products that we offer, from textbooks to envelopes, flyers, letterhead, and you can basically activate them or in, for example, your Shopify backend. I'm not really an active customer, so this is just a lot of test orders I did, but this was a live order, so that's quite interesting to see how that all went, but it's not much to see yet. So this order was created on 13 October by me. It was to our office in Ukraine, so it means it was delivered around 17 October. And that all works pretty fine. This is also the area where I can activate apps like, well, for example.
Martin, we don't see you have a second screen. You're only sharing one screen right now.
Okay, so
you have to drag it into this one. Yeah.
You can see this one. Yeah.
We can see the one with the connected apps where it's like your front page.
Okay, that's interesting. And this one you can see that I'm now in the dashboard.
No, you can only see the one that you have.
No,
It's probably because you're on the share screen have selected a specific window.
Okay, because I can have the message here. This one is being shared. Doesn't matter. Then we do it on a different way. Let's give me 1 second.
Sure.
So my complete screen is now shared.
Yeah.
Yeah, much easier. So for example, if I'm in the Cloud Printer dashboard, I can say I'm running my store on WordPress, and I use for that the WooCommerce plugin. It's quite easy. The only thing I need to do is copy this URL, paste it in my WooCommerce installation, and I have a connection with Cloud Printer. And that's how it works. If I want to see as a customer, like, okay, what is the price for a certain product? Because that's where it all starts. I can say, okay, I want to, let's do a photo book, because I'm a photo book company, for example. I do a hardcover, and I do a case wrap A for portrait. Let me just select some quick options, but it gives you an idea how quick is our platform. I said one, and I want to have this one in today. Well, let's do the Netherlands, the demo country. Then you see that this book will cost me €9.5 against, there's one shipping option available, which is express ground for 5.5. And this is information that I can show directly, for example, in the shopping cart of my Shopify or WooCommerce store, etc.
When we talk about the products and the build-up, this is one of the important things in our platform, that if you compare us to a print broker as an example, or directly with a print partner, we differ in the way that we have defined standard products. And this list of standard products are common products that we offer globally. And as Martijn showed here in quickly clicking around it, is that we have, of course, product categories and subcategories with it. And here we go into photo books and case wrap and see that we have a list of different both metric and imperial sizes. These products are either global available or regional available, and we are of course always working to get more and more coverage on these products. And global available means that it's available either as printing in the local country or shipping in from a neighbor or a nearby country. So this is part of what we are offering, and we can do this API because we have this, I wouldn't say limited, but fixed line card of products. There's a huge amount of combinations when you start to combine the different sizes and papers, etc. And this is why we keep it separate, as we keep it as a base product, and then a number of different options for the finishing, for the paper types, etc. The prices on these, as we talked about before, they are calculated, and they're calculated depending on where it's going to the specific print partner. We calculate it, but it also depends on local VAT or GST, etc. And all of this we are handling in the system. So when we invoice you as a client to to us, then we take care of invoicing if there's VAT to invoice, etc. So it is a full provided solution with a wide catalog of products where you can choose a product and a number of different options. Of course, there can be a variation on if we can deliver these options, just like we have with global available on the products. We have the same with the options. Now the cover fins is global available, but let's see. Here we have a standard version and actually two different papers that both are global available. And here's an example of a machine-coated silk. We don't have global available, but we have it in the gloss version. But our team is working constantly, adding new printers, adding more products, and so we have a global offering of these line card products. If you then say, I need a very custom product and I want a custom size, this is not what Cloud Printer is all about. But we are sticking to having a global delivery on fixed sizes of products with a lot of different variations, as you could see just on case webhooks here. It's all the common sizes, and more products are coming often. So this part is it's all about the ordering, and one part that we haven't talked about is you need to have some feedback if you have an e-commerce store, and you need to see what is the tracking code for the package once it's shipped. You need to know if something is delaying the order, etc. And this part is handled with a protocol from the print partner that we call Cloud Signal. And the same you can set up as a client. You can set up a webhook where we call you every time we have an update on it. This means that when a printer is saying, now we are starting to produce your order, then we get the signal, and right after we're passing it on to the client the signals that they are subscribing for. This means that, of course, you can activate your orders on your way, emails, etc. But it also means that if something is wrong, let's say a case webhook needs to be reprinted because the cover was wrong and it gives a delay of 24 hours because it had to dry the glue. In that case, you already get a message at the moment that it's going into reprint, that it's delayed and how much it's delayed. This means that the people in the customer service have a chance of actually answering what is going on and why is the order delayed. And of course, there are delays on these type of orders if there's something that needs to be reprinted. Another area that we have automated and that is often helping out the customer service a lot, this is about reorders. So in general, there's not a lot of reorders. We keep track of how much it is for each print partner, etc. But we have a way of letting clients push in a new order with some reorder information saying this was what was wrong with the product, and then we push it to the print partner. We have a check in our support team. We have a 24/7 support team looking at these, just making sure that it's a fair claim. But other than that, we don't need any information about what is wrong with it, like images and so on, like other people would need. You just push in a new order for it because we trust that the customer service at the e-commerce would only make a reorder if that's really something wrong. And as we keep track of how many, etc., it has proven to be a very good and effective way. It means that the customer service can have a client or an end consumer on the phone or on the email, and they can handle a reorder right away and end that case immediately. So in combination with the delivering the signals and handling reorders in an automated way, we have made it more simple for the print partners. We never have to reach out to them to ask for status on anything. It's all automated, and it's all built into the workflow of the print partner. And the reorders, they are handled in the same way. Of course, there's a difference between if it's a printing issue or if it's a shipment that is damaged or never delivered. And for this reason, we have what we call reorder clauses. So the client define this order is getting reordered because the box was damaged and with a textured description on it. So that's the processing of the workflow for the end consumer. Martijn.
Maybe we shall do it quickly like this. So that was a bit of an overview of a boring API platform, Morten, because there's not much to see about an API, but we hope it gives you a bit of an idea how we operate.
Yeah, your mic, Martin. Yeah, Martijn, first thing I was thinking about, because a lot of the PSPs, I got you there.
Yeah,
some of the PSPs listening in, we all have in our heads like the storefront, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's acquainted with the storefront, but am I mistaken if I'm stating that you kind of have like a storefront in your own cloud, which is like the API sitting behind it, or is that something misunderstood by me?
No, but imagine that you operate a storefront, but you don't have your own print facility. Then you connect your storefront to our API and you have printing available in every country in the world.
Right.
And if you see, I mean, if you look to a lot of successful web-to-print providers, they are extremely good in online marketing, in APIs, in tech things, but they don't run their own print facility. So they buy a storefront solution or they build a storefront and then they use our API for production part. And that's also done, for an example, in the photo book industry. There are a lot of photo book solutions from a print box and Taupix and media clip. And in the early days, those front-end solutions were bought by printers who wanted to launch a consumer brand. But nowadays, it are more the e-commerce companies who are purchasing such licenses and then activate the connection with Cloud Printer to take care of the fulfillment.
Right.
Martin, thing I'm curious about, let's say that you're a printing company who runs a storefront and you want not to be a supplier, but you want to be a consumer of the API.
Yeah.
Can you force routing? Let's say that you have a storefront where you have, let's say you produce only letterheads, right? And you have a certain capacity, and then you can build some logics, basically saying that when my own capacity or my own availability is limited, then I can source through the API to other sources.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a quite common usage of our platform. So we have print partners who offer even our API to their own customers. We start to see that more and more, that printers say to their customers, oh, you want to automate your order submission to me, use the Cloud Printer API, and I will inform the platform that all your orders should route it to me.
Yeah, so that is like, that was the second question. So you can force, you can force the routing.
Products you run through the Cloud Printer network, but I will invoice you as a print partner. It's just, but we even have cases where larger print companies, and then I mean really the 100 million plus, they use our technology to connect their customers to their own facilities. So that's of course not something you want to do, because you want to be an extremely fast-growing, scalable platform. So you want to be very unified. But yeah, when you are just starting, you accept everything to get your traction in your revenues, right? So, but what we always like to do as a company is, on the moment we have a few times such occasion, that we want to turn it into a service. So one of the services we are now working on is a white label API for printers, where they can give an own API to their customers, produce the products they can be producing, or up to a certain amount a day, and all other orders are routed back into the platform.
So the business model, because you referred to the print partners you have, but the transaction, the financial transaction, is that through customer to you and then you to a print partner, or is it directly between? Is it like more like a peer-to-peer business, and then you just? I mean, where's the revenue from you, and how does it work from a revenue perspective?
Well, let me first explain where is our revenue model, because that is quite unique. We don't put a margin on the print, because we believe that if you want to offer global print, you also should have local pricing. And we always refer to that as the Big Mac index. It's the same product, but it's $2 in India and it's $4.50 in the Netherlands. So if you want to sell print, you also should offer the local print retail pricing. So that means we take the local pricing and charge that to our customer. And we don't put a margin on it. We use a fixed fee, what we call a job fee. And the job fee ranges from 50 cents to €2 per order on an average. And that is where we earn our money. In terms of how is the cash flow, we charge our customers and we pay the print partners. And especially that last part, we are really going against the flow. Where we have seen during Corona, for example, that a lot of web-to-print providers or customers told their printers, we should delay or extend our payment terms. We will not pay you on 30 days anymore. We'll pay you on 60 or 90, etc. We work the opposite way. We shortened our payment terms all the time, and to come to a point where soon we will be able to release a payment for a particular order to PayPal or Stripe or whatever payment platform we use on the moment the printer scans the first track and trace, to stimulate the cash flow of the printers, but also, of course, to stimulate the production times. The quicker you produce, the faster you have your money. And I think that's a fair model, because 90% of our customers are charged on their credit card. So,
but I understand that, but I would also think that if you want to really grow into become an even bigger company than you are right now, some of the customers might be interested in having like on credit when they buy, because there's like, if you sell to the government, for example, you don't have a credit card payment, right? You have to accept certain terms on it, right? So the incentive could equally be the other way around, saying that the more credit you're able to facilitate and guarantee, the more volume the printers can get, and then it's more like a shifting into. I mean, so there's like different models in how you can see advantages of this, right?
And you are extremely right. We lost deals, for example, with NGOs or governments, because they said you need to send your tender, or you should answer our request for proposal, etc. But I mean, I don't want to use the cliche of being the Uber in print. I mean, I will not go there.
Oh, come on.
But let's do it. Yeah? Just call Uber right now and say, you are the Copenhagen local government, and you want to use their service and pay on 90 days. They will say, no, sorry.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, because I'm agree with you. It's just because you said that paying the printers faster was a KPI. I'm just saying there's a KPIs in both directions. That's my point. And if eventually if it eliminates the sales, then it's a bad business model. But if it is aligned with the volume and I mean, you with a fixed ticket price from your side, you also need to have a certain volume in order to be profitable, because you have fixed costs, right? So yeah.
And what we've seen over the last year, Morten, is that even Fortune 500 companies are willing on the end to pay by credit card, or even wire and deposit. We have what we call deposit accounts, credit accounts, and that works.
That's I agree, and I think that what you're doing. I remember that I interviewed you a couple of years ago.
20 kilos ago at my side.
Sorry?
30 kilos ago at my side.
Plus or minus?
Minus.
Okay. fine. Okay. You never know with that kind of webcam. You can never know, right? No, but I did an interview with you, and I remember I was very fascinated by where you wanted to take it, and I think that it's in quite. I'm not surprised. I'm more. What can I say? Very happy that that you have succeeded doing this, because cloud printer is on the lips of a lot of people. I remember even I met Freddie Peters from InFocus in Tokyo, and we sat on a bar, and he said, "Have you heard about cloud printer? We have built a interface to InFocus Switch with them." And I was just like, "Yeah, I interviewed Martin just a few weeks ago or something like that." So there was like that kind of connection. So you have even got into talks with some major companies, because they see the value of the APIs and see how that can actually bring value to a lot of different people, but also from a more helicopter perspective, maybe even bringing the print industry closer to the potential that we can deliver, because now you can deliver anything you want, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we keep on working hard on that, and we always make the joke, we are the kind of bridge between atoms and bits, the atoms of a print partner versus the bits of the e-commerce world. But sometimes we also think we are not that connection, we are also the translator.
Yeah.
Where the e-commerce guys, to give you an idea, Martin, we spoke a while ago to 4 guys somewhere, I don't know, in Brazil in an apartment. And they said, yeah, we reached out to many large print houses in the world because we built an app that you can print a canvas from your Instagram. And nobody wants to work with us. They don't understand us. And they went live, and they were doing, I think, in their first month, 1,600, 1,700 canvas sales. It's not huge, but it's also not little. And it shows that we are able to also bring new sales to the print world.
But that is the beauty of how to utilize the APIs, because I gave a presentation that is actually on my LinkedIn profile right now in Sweden at the same conference you participated in, where I talk about how strong the APIs are, and it's a fact that a lot of printing companies don't have APIs and no interconnection from an electronic workflow perspective into the company. And I mean, in that list I did of APIs available, it is typical like the Simpresses and the Amazons and those kind of companies that have APIs. And basically you democratize the APIs, because now everybody can basically, have APIs, because if they have InFocus Switch, well, we are ready to rock and roll, right?
Exactly. And our app for Switch, by the way, it's a very easy one. If you run InFocus Switch, activate our app, and you are connected as a print partner. You don't need to code. You don't need to do complicated things. You just activate the app, and that works well.
Fantastic. Jacques.
I'm saying goodbye now to you, Martijn.
I have one question for you before you leave. I have one question for you before you leave. So have you learned anything from this session, Jacques?
Yes, yeah, sure, I did.
Quite fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, because it's a bit set apart from the rest of the solutions that we were witnessing and that we have. So it's really from the IT side of things on connecting all the different players, I would say, as well the vendor, the end consumer who will be using it, and then you guys in between connecting all the dots.
You are the nerds in print.
Yeah, well.
The nerds in print. Okay, that's fine. But cool. we know then from EFI that you should wear glasses. That's what they told us. Yeah.
He's got cool ones. Yeah. Anyone, Martijn, thanks for being on the show. I'm off to the next one.
See you in a moment, Jacques.
Okay. See ya. Ciao.
Ciao. So I will just see what happens if I eject Mogens. Then you should be there. You're together. Fine. So before we end this session here, I have shared your LinkedIn profiles, both of you, in the chat here. Yeah. I think that, and I can't help think about it, because that is like an ever recurring situation that because I try to be one of the best in the communications industry, at least from my own perspective. But I can't help think about, because I think that what you're doing is it's extremely complex, and you make it extremely less complex, but still complex for a lot of people to understand, because this is new business model. So I think one of your challenges is probably how you communicate what you're doing. I mean, you've got a lot of clients, you've got a lot of people understanding it, but the potential is just vast, right?
We think the same, and we keep on working on making it more simple all the time, and we will get there soon.
We got a last question here. It's from Shasayib Sia, and a person is asking, what is the strategy of Cloud Printer to market the company in Asian and developing countries?
I thought Siri had the answer for us, Morten, but it seems I should figure it out.
I can ask. So I didn't even say Siri, but apparently ask the question, please, now.
Yeah. There is no strategy. I mean, we see the world as just our workplace. It's not that we started in the Netherlands and then went to West Europe and then all Europe. We operate on a global scale, and we have regional managers that speak the culture, or the language and the culture of each particular region, like Asia, Latin America, CIS, etc.
Well, that is the best fast question we can have, because we have to stop now. Mogens and Martin, it's been wonderful to have you here on our Learn With Us session. I appreciate your time, and that you have so openly shared what you're capable of doing. And I hope a lot of people will, at some point, also when we get the replays out on INKISH, reach out to you guys. I think you're onto something that is really interesting. Thank you very much. And for the audience still left here, we have Dr. Skipson from Infico Software, talking about catfish in a second, actually in 8 minutes. So go grab a cup of coffee and log in for the next session. And we have 2 more today. And then again, tomorrow we are back with a lot of good content. So enjoy yourself, please.